Okay, we are back to doing war games. This one again is a big game. May not have a huge amount of units on the actual board, but it does have a very complicated system if we're going to play the campaign. Which, me being me, I've decided I'm going to try and do the 1965 to 1975 campaign game. Now, I've no idea how far I'd get with this, but we'll give it a go anyway. Now, what I am doing is I'm using a solo module, which is actually on Board Game Geek, so it does significantly change the way the game's actually played. Now, I'm not fully conversant with how it works yet, but the idea is you sort of assign con units, the ones that would normally be hidden, to regions. So I know, for example, there are two battalions in this particular province here, but I don't know where they are, and I know how strong they are, but I don't know where they are. And until I attack them, I won't find out where they are. So that's different from the normal game if you're playing opposed, where you know where they are but you don't know what the strength is. Now, as I say, I have no idea how this is going to work out, whether this solo module has even been properly tested or anything. I assume it has, but anyway, you can't really play, you certainly can't play the campaign game if you're trying to play solo, if you're not going to use something to play the MVA fraction, because there's so much hidden information. Now, another thing about this game is there's a lot of bookkeeping. If you're going to do the campaign, you basically get these sheets that you can take copies of, and you have to record all the sort of commitment points, morale, how much your draft levels are, how much supplies consumed, etc. And that can be a bit too much for a lot of people. It's right on the edge with me in terms of playability. I wouldn't like it to be any more complicated than it is there, but bear that in mind. If you're even thinking about doing the campaign game, if you don't like bookkeeping, maybe don't approach it. There are some Excel sheets people have set up to sort of semi-automate some of it, but I'm not a big Excel fiend, so I don't really know how that works. The game itself, we're currently on a map board, 10x4 feet configuration, so the three maps that make up the main game, I would say, are just over 6 feet by 3.5 feet maybe. So you're going to need a big table to play the campaign game. There are loads of scenarios that you can play one map as two maps, and there are other ones where you're just playing a tiny, maybe in a single province or something like that. Now, we'll have a quick review of the components. This is actually a reprint. There was the original version, I think, was published in 1998 or something. It's a long time ago. This is a deluxe edition, right? Now we go on to the maps. Maps are really nice, and they've toned them down a little bit from the original. They've removed the really bright red and blue markers that which portray the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and still the mountainous areas are probably a tad garish for some people. I think the map looks pretty good though. We've got a lot of, because it's an old style game and because of the configuration of the actual map, there's plenty of tracks actually on the map itself, which I think it's pretty good. You've got options for some of them where you say you haven't got this information track because you're only playing on the southern map or something. There's options where there are versions of the operations map on player aids, etc. The counters are really nice, really thick. They take a counter clip, a 2mm counter clip, exceptionally well. No issues to report with that. The player aids, there's some pretty decent player aids in colour. Quite a few. There's 2 copies, one for each player. If you're playing that, there's a sequence of play, drain effects. You've got your combat charts. We'll just bear with me a second. We have also some on the wall. These all your operations as flow charts showing you how to do your search and destroy, clear and secure, various other security operations, bombardment operations, and then you've got these charts up here which help you during the seasonal interface to sort of look at how all the population control shifts and the morale effects, strategic bombing, etc., etc. So there's quite a lot of stuff up there which doesn't fit on the table. Just whiz around here. Now, one thing, because of the fact I'm playing this solo thing, I've got these regional things. You actually, the guy who designed it provided a little chart here which shows how the Viet Cong forces are placed, and you could actually stack your counters on there, but I thought it was much more effective to create these things yourself, but you don't need to. You could use that to stack your counters on. There's a little thing off Board Game Geek here which is a visual representation of your population control, which is good. If you want to track your population control, you can do it on a worksheet, and you can also do it using those tracks over there. I think this one is pretty good, so I'm using that. You've got some holding box sheets over there that come with the game. The actual you don't get counter trays. Those counter trays are actually part of my supply of counter trays. I've got the rules for the solo module here, which are not particularly complicated. About 8 pages. I don't like the fact it says version 0.3 beta there, and that's the latest version. So, as I say, I don't know whether this will actually work. We've got the 2 manuals that come with the board, nice colour manuals. The rules of play has a table of contents. It also has an index, a proper index, not a subject index. Doesn't look, superficially, this doesn't look a particularly complicated game, coming in at 40 pages of main rules, but it is, I would say it's on the high complexity level because of all the mechanics that you needed to play the campaign game. If you were just playing a regular scenario, it would be a medium complexity, to be quite honest. Playbooks, again, give you all your scenarios, examples of play. These are all in colour, very, very good quality. I haven't spotted any problems. So I'm setting up with a campaign and everything. Right, is there anything else I want to say about this? There's plenty of marker counters. I don't know how practical some of these are. You're supposed to mark your ops complete. I'll probably end up using my famous coloured cubes to do that. I've already started using coloured cubes here. The black ones effectively show, it's the effectiveness of the South Vietnamese units. Ones with black are not effective. That massively limits what they can do. I haven't got anything else to say really. I think this is an ambitious thing for even me to take on. There is a set of tutorials which Mark Evans has done. They're quite old, about 6 years old or something, that are on YouTube. They are very, very good. I can't recommend them enough. You trying to wade through this and work it all out yourself, you're going to struggle, really struggle. But those so far, I've only got through the first 8 or something, and I've found them to be invaluable. Right, that's it. Might do a quick introduction to the actual war. I assume most people know a lot about the war, but there's some interesting historical points which are worth discussing.